Hola, buenos días, amigos míos. ¿Cómo están? Espero que estén bien hoy día, que estén tranquilos y que se sientan bien. Quick translation. Hello, friends. How y'all doing? Hope you're all well. Hope you're all chilling, essentially. Que estén tranquilos. I love that word. Tranquilo. As you can see, I'm trying to keep it as tranquilo and chill, literally, as I can with our snow today. I'm sure you're looking at the same thing right now. And today's Monday message is going to be a little bit longer than normal. All right, el mensaje de lunes es un poquito más largo que normal because I have a lot of information to relate to you guys. All right, starting with final exams. Now, I don't know if you guys have heard the word, but based on the meetings I've had with my colleagues, it seems that final exams in their traditional sense, of course, would have been radically different, and they are going to go ahead, and this is a top-down thing at the state level, to essentially not have finals. Okay, now I want to be easy on this because I'm very torn about this decision. It makes sense to me in some regards, with just accessibility and the logistics of it. But at the same time, a little cameo from my daughter right now. I think she's asking for more. She's asking for something. I still feel like this decision is taking away great opportunity and incentive, of course, to study, to review content, to try to attain proficiency with the areas, the grammar and things that we've covered this year, right? So this is where I tentatively stand. I still want to give a final exam, but I want to make it optional. You don't have to take it, okay? And if you do choose to take it, I hope you're listening at this point. It will not negatively impact your grade. It can only positively impact your grade, right? Like, your grade can't go down if you take my final this year. It will only go up, provided that you get over something like a 70% on it or something like that. And I can talk more about what to expect on the final exam. And I'm also planning on releasing a final exam study guide, which doubles for you Spanish 3 cats out there as essentially like a quick reference and a resource for review for Spanish 3. So I really highly recommend you take advantage of that as well, right? Like, for example, make your own copy. You guys can make your own copy of any of the documents that I share through, Classroom, my website, whatever, right? You guys can make your own copy, right? So I highly recommend you do the same with the final exam study guide that I will be releasing later this week. Okay? So, another thing I wanted to get to, I'll take this guy off, is how I'm going to approach our work for my class for the rest of this year, seeing as we're not supposed to give you a bona fide final exam, all right? And also seeing that, I kind of have everything established with this online e-learning platform at the moment, at least I hope I do. So I think what we can start to do now is we can, start picking up the pace just a little bit, but as a trade-off, right? So essentially what I'm talking about is I'm asking you guys to create language, be creative, use technology to make relevant relevant works. I'm talking about projects here is what I'm ultimately talking about, right? But in exchange for like transitioning into more of like this project phase of the e-learning, I'm going to bring down the contact minutes, hours with like the daily tasks, right? So what we're going to see is we're going to see a little less on the daily task end, but the overarching week is still going to require about the same amount of time, okay? It's going to require about the same amount of time, okay? So let's talk about what this arc or what this trajectory is going to look like. It starts this week. I'm going to give you guys a micro project. And by the way, for all of these projects, I'm going to give you the option of doing it by yourself, doing it individually, or collaborating with one or two more people. That's going to be the cap for this. I think if you surpass 3 people in a project, then that's when you start to have more people doing less work. And that's just me stating a fact, isn't it? Yeah. I'm not trying to like be salty or like, that guy. I'm just saying what it is, right? We all know that, okay? Of course, if you do work with another person or like in a group of 3 especially, like the expectation is that, the work itself is substantial, and that it shows some really, really strong effort, creativity. That's going to be a big piece of this, okay? And of course, a somewhat desirable level of proficiency, not perfection, but some solid Spanish, okay? So let's talk about what these are. We're going to go from micro to mini to like the final project of the semester. I'm going to talk about what those are right now. This week, you have a micro project. It is to make a public service announcement, or as we say in español, un anuncio de servicio público. And the theme of your PSA is going to be cleaning up the environment in Guatemala, okay? Now, PSAs, they're like advertisements, okay? And those of you who are interested in advertising and business and marketing, all that stuff, this is a really good unit for you. In fact, these next 2 units are going to be really, really strong for you. Like they're going to be, your wheelhouse, or they're going to really, be up your alley. Okay. So in this PSA, you have to use commands, right, to tell people to do stuff and to not do stuff, right, in regard to the Guatemalan environment, right? Guatemala, it's a developing country, third world country that exists in a very globalized economy. So its markets have been opened up to multinationals like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, McDonald's, right? All of these. And what the thing is about is that with the entry of these big multinational companies is that a lot of their activities are very consumerist based and results in a lot of human generated waste. But the problem is Guatemala doesn't have the infrastructure to handle this volume of waste. So when you are rolling on the roads, you're just riding buses and stuff, you look out the window and it's very, very common to see giant trash mounds and just open air landfills, just on the side of the road, for a given alcalde or alcaldía, sorry, a given little township, they'll have their trash, their local trash heaps. They don't have a way essentially to recycle, dispose of, reclaim, reuse, or handle this volume of waste that is created by a lot of this economic activity. Of course, this has slowed down recently because of COVID, but other than that, you have a pretty big problem of contamination of water, pollution, just trash disrupting the ecosystem and stuff like that. It's a big problem, right? Might be one of the reasons why you might not have like, you might have like that environmental and economic security might be a reason why Guatemalans are turning to leaving their country rather than staying there, right? So this could be something, a really valuable project in that sense, that we're trying to empower the Guatemalan people to take better care of their environment, especially like in urban centers and in townships where, you'll just see a high influx of like consumer products and waste as a result. Okay, so that's the micro project. You're gonna see like I'm gonna roll out that official like documentation, put it in writing for you. Okay, I just want to talk about it. Okay, after that, the mini project is going to be it's going to be a similar vibe and content that you're using commands, but the theme different. Now it's going to be a lot more fun. It's going to be Guatemalan tourism. So instead of making PSAs for Guatemalans, you're making ad content, marketing content for Spanish-speaking affluent global citizens who like to travel, right? So people from Spain, the rest of the Americas, right? The Spanish-speaking world, right? Trying to get them to come and visit Guatemala and, of course, contribute to Guatemala's domestic economy and experience ecotourism, right? Kind of like, again, tying in that sustainability factor, right? So that's going to be the mini project and a similar kind of expectation that you're going to have an individual option, or you can work with a buddy, or cap it at 3 for a group of 3, okay? As far as like, what would we make, You can make a print ad, a print PSA, or for the second mini tourism project, like a print, a print marketing piece, pamphlet, something like that. But I think right now, I'm going to give that option, but I think right now what would be really cool is to use that tech, right? So making like radio ads. I think radio is really good, like internet, like little ads you hear on Pandora or Spotify if you don't have premium, right? Like, something in your ear to, entice the consumer to travel to Guatemala, right? Or to encourage the Guatemalan citizen to keep their environment clean. Sorry about Francis in the background. That's kind of rough. And then your final project, I'm going to speak briefly on this because I'm already over way over 10 minutes, is going to be called Hubo un accidente, or like hubo un desastre. Hubo un fill in the blank. Hubo, right, is the preterite of hay. There is snow. Hay nieve. Mire, ahí, por la ventana, hay nieve, ¿no? But hubo in the preterite is like there was, boom, a completed action, right? Like an accident, a natural disaster. We just had horrible storms in the south. Maybe you guys just saw, right? So if to say that would be like, hubo un tormenta grave en la región sureña de los Estados Unidos, right? So you can use hubo, right, to say there was or there were, but a completed preterite action, right? And usually accidents and natural disasters or other news. This is what I'm getting to. It's like a news project. Other newsworthy headlines. There was a robbery. Like there was a bank robbery. There was, a bombing, right? Like, we have crazy headlines like that, right? Like these are all going to be preterite, and they all use hubo. So the project is like called Hubo un fill in the blank, right? What was there, right? What's the headline? It was a storm, tornado, hurricane, robbery. What's the headline, right? And that's going to be our final project. It's going to have to do with essentially reporting the news, all right? And I'll roll that out later. We're already approaching 15 minutes. My daughter's crying in the background. It's bad news, right? So I hope y'all listen to this, and I will roll out today's daily task in which you're going to get to see a little bit more of the beauty of Guatemalan culture. We see Semana Santa, Holy Week, in Antigua de Guatemala. One of the most quaint, beautiful, artistic, colorful, beautiful events in Guatemalan culture. I know you're all going to love it. It's going to be another one of those Google Earth guided tours. And so I hope you enjoy it. It's kind of your last piece of input, seeing one more really awesome piece of Guatemalan culture. Also, don't forget this week, I have one more video lesson for all y'all. It's the negative irregular commands, right? Remember, this week you're rocking the commands with your PSA about not contaminating, not polluting, right? So you are going to be using commands for your project, and the final piece of the commands is learning about how to do negative irregular commands. You know the Vin Diesel, ven dice la tende ponce. But how do you do those same commands in the negative? Like don't come, or don't leave, or don't whatever, right? All those commands. It's a little bit tricky. There's a process to it, but I'll guide you through it in this week's video lesson. That will be tomorrow. All right? Paz, amor y chao.